Your body knows how to be healthy. I'm your host, Martha Blessing, and this is the Place to Be Free podcast, a show that is passionately devoted to illuminating the potential within you to transform your health and life. We're shaking up and breaking up old paradigms so you can free up your mind and body, elevate your consciousness, and create profound well-being and a ridiculously happy and healthy life. On this show, we defy the norms and embrace a journey toward profound well-being and creating true freedom. We challenge patriarchal medicine, question fear-based culture, and dive deep into topics like quantum healing, energy medicine, mental science, consciousness, and universal spiritual laws. Whether you're here for solo explorations or the insightful interviews with individuals who've conquered fear and disease and broken through limitations, you're in for a transformative experience. If you're seeking empowerment, if you're ready for a life-changing shift, you're in the right place. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Martha Blessing, and welcome back to the podcast. In this episode, I am helping you make sense of using the law of manifestation, the principles of manifestation for healing, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Most people that come to me and work with me, they are looking to reduce and or eliminate physical symptoms and ailments that they've been struggling with for quite some time. Sometimes even decades. They've done everything that they can in the Western medicine and even in the alternative holistic, and they're still not getting the results that they want. And so many people, when they have taken the steps into the alternative and holistic approach to healing, they usually have dabbled in some way or heard about law of attraction and laws of manifestation. And yet they may practice and still not get results. So I want to unpack this for you to help you understand how it works and why the way that you're doing it may not be creating the results that you would like. When we talk about law of attraction and manifesting, I think those are kind of buzzwords. I don't actually even really like using those words, but they are what everyone is so familiar with. So how do we manifest? And when we say manifest, we're talking about how do I create? That is the word and the phrase that I prefer to use is how do I create with God, with universal intelligent substance? And so part of the problem that I have with this law of attraction and manifesting is that, I'm trying to align with something that's out there in the field. And I need to become a resonance with whatever this is. Yes and no. The truth is, you already are the resonance. You already are intelligent substance in God's source. Where people are getting confused in this process is they think that there is something outside of themselves that they need to connect to or become similar to in order to get the results. And I hear this a lot. I've talked with a lot of people lately who ask me, what kind of healing do you do? Like, what frequency is it at? What vibration? A gal asked me, what megahertz are you functioning at? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You are spiritual substance. You are God already. The only reason why you have not created the well-being is because something has gotten in the way. You've allowed it to enter. There's not something you need to get to. You already are it. Law of polarity, we go deep into this in the Healed and Unlimited program. Law of polarity says that you can't have one thing without the exact opposite of it already being here and being close and right next to it. And so the fact that you are in a state of symptomology, of a diagnosis of illness, law of polarity, which is a universal law, it is always in action, whether you understand it or not. It says that you have the exact opposite at the same time, and it's already here. And so your healthy body is already here inside you. You were born at that resonance. It is your divine state. Do you see the difference here? You don't have to get to someplace. That's what, Abraham Hicks, God bless them. They've done a lot of great work in the world. But that whole idea of getting into the vortex, no, you don't have to get into the vortex. Here's what people are missing in this spiritual bypassing wiki-woo world is that you already are the resonance. And what's happened is you separated from it. Saying that you need to get in alignment with it, you cannot be out of alignment with the universe. You are the universe. You're in the universe, of the universe, as the universe. Okay? And so I laugh at it because it's so simple and we make it so hard. I get it. I did that stuff for years until you understand the universal laws and how to apply them to yourself and your life. You will struggle in this place. It's why I'm passionate about helping and teaching this. And it's also why just doing the energy healing, I cannot intervene. Why I teach what I teach, I cannot intervene with your thought process. God gave you free will. That is your free will. When we say God gave us free will, it is your ability to think and your ability to choose. And so what's happened is you separated and you are choosing a belief system. Right now you're choosing it. You may not have had a choice when you were younger. It was fed into your undeveloped conscious mind. You didn't have the ability to reject it. And so we create this story about either how unworthy or how unlovable, whatever the fear and the story is from our core wound in our childhood that kept us safe. That is what is in the way of you allowing and receiving your true self and your healing. So that's what's in the way. What has to get removed is the program, the belief. Now, when we add on to this, that currently in our media, in our culture, long before the pandemic, this was already in play. We're being programmed. The AMA, the pharmaceuticals, you hear me talk about it over and over and over again. You can believe it or not, but they are using fear to program you to believe that you're going to be sick, that your body's going to break down and turn against you. And so you have that belief subliminally programmed into you. And then they started with this idea of prevention. I talked about that in the last podcast. Screening and prevention. Screening is not prevention. Prevention is when you allow yourself to believe that God is good and we have an ever-loving presence of intelligent substance. The Big Dipper and the North Star are in the same place every single night in the sky. Despite all of the solar flares and all of the things that are going on and the things that people focus on and the attention that they give to astrology and the planets and Mercury and all these things, the North Star and the Big Dipper are in the same place. There is order to the universe. That is divine intelligence, right? And so you are divine intelligence. How did I heal all of these maladies? 10 years of daily chronic pain, defying doctors, getting out of a wheelchair, reversing fibromyalgia, reversing thyroid disease, reversing cancers, because we peel back the layers that we have taken on in our belief system. Most of them are from something external, and they are fear. They are fear-based. Even if we didn't have what medicine and the media is feeding us right now with all the commercials and that sort of thing, we are responsible. So how do we get into this manifestation, deep into it, and have it stick? How do we create? We are co-creators. What's happened is we have miscreated. We've used our mind and our beliefs and our emotions and our feelings to cut ourselves off and believe, we believe in the miscreation. Like, we believe collectively right now, most people believe in a diagnosis and that we're stuck there for life and that we have to manage it. Most people are not making a choice and a decision that we have the ability to transcend physical illness and ailments. Ayurvedic medicine, for those of you that don't know, if you haven't listened to the podcast before, I was a clinical Ayurvedic practitioner for 15, 20 years and had an Ayurvedic wellness center. And Ayurvedic medicine is based on the premise that all illness is due to a failure of intellect. What do I mean by that? We're using our mind against ourselves. We're thinking thoughts that don't serve us. Now, we are always manifesting. If you're like, well, how do I create and manifest what I want? You manifested this. Whatever your illness and symptoms and disease are, you manifested it. That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. But the good news is, if you accept 100% responsibility for your beliefs, for what you've created, we are always creating. The subconscious, our beliefs, and our mind are always creating. That's the law of cause and effect. So if you don't like where you're at, accept 100% responsibility that you used your mind and your emotions and the law of cause and effect to create where you are. That's the good news, because you can use those same laws and that same ability to create what it is that you do want, to be in a body that is healthy. But that frequency is already here. Because think about it, when you were, younger, right? We think, oh, we got heart disease and all these things. We weren't genetically predisposed to that. We might have been energetically, ancestrally in the same belief patterns of our parents or our grandparents, which has to create the same thing. We can't plant apple seeds and expect an orange tree. So it's what you've put into source, substance, and God is what your results are. The good news is, and how does this work? You make a decision. You make 100% all in with conviction decision that your body knows how to be healthy. The choice comes first. The decision comes first. Because from that, you're going to have to think and take actions like a person who is healthy. Pretty much everything is created in substance, in intelligent substance, through our belief. Not pretty much. Everything is created through our belief. So if and when you make that choice and that decision that you are currently intelligent substance, it is moving through you. It is beating your heart. It is growing your hair. It is growing your nails. We don't have to tell it what to do. We don't have to get anything to make our heart beat or to make our breath move. The state of symptoms and illness, if our heart doesn't beat correctly, can be from grief that we're holding. The energy that we're holding, the grief of feeling unworthy, unlovable from different events that have happened to us throughout our life, throughout our childhood. That is what is getting in the way. And there is nothing that you're going to do that's outside of yourself that is going to change that. You get to change it from the inside out. There are practices that you can do to release that. Understood? It's not about aligning like with a meditation. There's a lot of practitioners out there now, some of them very well known. I'm not saying that energy healing and energy medicine and meditations are not effective. They do temporarily shift your frequency so that you can get relief. But especially if you have anxiety or depression, digestive issues, that is all, like anxiety is present in four different, comes up in four different ways. It's all just energy. And it's energy that's moving. It wants your attention. It is working on your behalf. Make the decision that your body is intelligent and it has wisdom. And you have the ability to access that. When you access that knowledge and that wisdom, when you allow yourself to be the love, to be the self-worth and self-esteem, and get the beliefs and the story and the lies out, you cannot help but have a reversal of symptoms. You cannot help it because you are allowing your true self, your sovereign self, into your body and your being. You're using your mind and your thinking. And so you're course correcting, right? So a lot of people come to me, they're like, I did work with Joe Dispenza. I did his meditations. I did this. I did that. It didn't work. I know all this stuff and it still didn't work. If it didn't work, number one, you weren't connecting to the truth. You weren't looking at what are my beliefs. So just like memorizing a meditation and raising yourself to another frequency, I have not seen it work. I'll just say that. I have not seen it work. I know he does a lot of good work and he helps a lot of people, but I also get a lot of people that come to me that haven't had results. And the difference is going to be when you understand the truth about how these laws work. When you understand that you don't have to get somewhere and be a specific megahertz or resonance or frequency. Okay. Dimensions. Somebody asked me one time on a call, strategy session, discovery call, well, when you're doing your work, what dimension are you in? Forget about the dimensions. You're right here, right now, in your physical body. It's not about going and flying off into some other dimension. You don't need to do that. 3D, right here, right now. You have everything you need inside your body. God did not screw this up. Beginning of time, forever and ever in creation. You have exactly what you need for healing inside yourself right here, right now. Right now. Life is always happening right now, in each moment. You can't erase the past. And most people in their healing, they're thinking about regret and remorse and resentments and things from the past, and they're holding that in here, in the grief, in the solar plexus, the self-worth, the self-esteem, shame, in the sacral, guilt. Okay? Most people are holding from everything that's happened in their life in their body somewhere. traveling outside to some other dimension is not going to do a damn thing for what you're holding in your beliefs about yourself and your life in your body. Do you see the difference? Do you see where I really want to hit this home, because so many people are stuck in this spiritual bypassing. Oh, I'm just going to sit around and vibrate and burn incense and put rose quartz in my bra and everything's going to be fine. No, this is not how the laws work, and it's not how healing works. Fine, if you love crystals, go do that stuff. That is not where the long-term permanent healing is going to happen. So people are either on the past, or they're, and that's the resentment, the shame, the guilt, the grief is in the past, or they're in the future. They're looking to what their experience is. The conscious mind cannot help but do this. The conscious mind wants to keep you in that story, in that lie, in that tape, in that program. You developed it to stay safe. So it wants to keep you in that. It's focusing on the past or on the future with worry. What if I do this? What if I stand up for myself? What if I choose a different belief about myself, about life? What if I understand my connection to a loving God that actually wants me to experience success, health, wealth, prosperity, purpose, law of reciprocity? God wants you. He wants to experience all of these things through you. That's why you have the desires and the gifts that you do. Everyone is different. It's in there. That's why in my program, we spend so much time on these 5 C's about cause, clarity, and the clearing, the consciousness, elevating your thinking and your internal presence, your life force, to your desires, to your God self. It's not about reaching for something outside yourself. It's not about getting in the vortex. And so the manifestation process is not, I need to align with this. You already are it. You need to use your mind, your free will, to work within the law of cause and effect. Everything happens in the law of cause and effect. And it's not about resonance. It's not about getting into a particular frequency. You're born that frequency. You're born that frequency. You've just cut yourself off from it. And that's where the illness comes. You're born with a resonance and a frequency. The waves. When we want to know, medicine wants to know, they do EKGs, cardiogram. They measure the waves of the heart. They measure the waves, the brain waves. You already are the frequency of God, of source, of intelligent substance, of more life. Make the choice, make the decision that this is your truth. What has to happen is you have to have you have to have the decision first that this is the truth, that it's already here. When you decide this is what goes out into substance, the universe and God and source is always aligning things for you as you believe. It cannot interfere with your free will and your thought process, because to do that is to interfere with the law. It's tampering with the law of cause and effect. You are responsible. So once you make the decision that this is the truth, you start creating from this place. You choose different beliefs about life, about yourself. You ask different questions. You get out of survival and you step into creation and more life. And the universe is always saying yes. And so it says yes to you because you made the decision first. If you don't make the decision, it has no reason to bring you and make evident all of the resources that are here for you to step into becoming more of who you are. Healing is about shifting your consciousness and stepping into more of who you are. People can do healing, but until this mechanism, until you understand it, until you buy into it, so to speak, and start to make that solid commitment and decision that you're not turning back, that this is who you are, it cannot line up. It has no reason to bring you that frequency and event because you are choosing to have a different one. Your beliefs have programmed you to continue to get more of the same. Switch your decision. You have to be able to be willing to see the opportunities. But if you are in belief from the programming that I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, God is punishing me while I'm sick, that is not God. That might be a God of religion, but that is not God. God is good. God is love. God is light. So if you were raised with that belief, that's what has to be transformed. It's not serving you. So I hope this makes sense. I hope this provides some clarity on manifesting and the law of attraction. Law of attraction is really a secondary law. It's not a primary law. And in order to attract, the decision has to come first. And a lot of people are hoping, begging for something different, but they're still holding the beliefs that they're unlovable, unworthy, you name it, you list it. That's their belief is in something else. And it's 99% of the time related to a core wound belief, a role that we took on. So, thanks for listening. I hope this is helpful, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for joining me on another episode of the Place to Be Free podcast. If you found inspiration in our discussions on empowered living, mindset, and spiritual laws and healing, don't forget to subscribe and share the wisdom with your community. Connect with me on social media, and for exclusive content, free resources, and to stay updated on upcoming episodes, visit the website at marthablessing.com/free stuff. Until next time, remember, you're the author of your story. Keep breaking through barriers, defy old worn-out beliefs and patterns, and create a life without limitation. I'll see you in the next episode.